Scott Morrison is off with a 2050 pledge, but not shorter-term goals. So what will be the impact for the industries of Australia? For his thoughts, CEO of GenX Power, James Harding, is joining us live in the studio. James, great to have you in.
Good to be
Let's
here.
maybe start with your thoughts on what Scott Morrison has already put forward.
Well, look, it's great, obviously, going into the COP26 summit next week that excuse me, Australia has now committed to net zero by 2050. So that first and foremost, that's a very good news for the market. Obviously, there was some concern at the trajectory to get there, and it would have been good to see a target set for 2030 because it looks like we're going to beat the Paris commitments quite easily. But it's good news for the market. It's good news for GenX and the industry.
The heart, excuse me, the heart, I guess, of what he's suggesting is that technology is going to solve this problem for Australia. Is that feasible at this point? And I mean, obviously, from your perspective too, given you're in this as a renewable energy company.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a range of technologies that's going to fix this. So there's a huge transition underway as coal-fired power exits the system over the next 15, 20 years. That will need to be replaced by wind and solar, which is the low-cost source of power, but it'll need to be balanced by a number of different storage technologies. And we, as GenX, for example, have already a pumped hydro storage technology under construction. We're about to deploy a battery. There's a number of other technologies that will emerge, which will be needed in this transition process.
So how much investment, in your mind, is needed?
So it's going to be huge. We're talking about potentially $50 billion by 2050 to actually transition away from coal-fired power generation, to put in, as I say, the wind and solar and balancing storage, and to increase the amount of power that's going to be needed in the system for what is expected to be a green fuel future from green hydrogen and green ammonia and other products.
Given the policy inertia we have seen in Australia, and maybe that is now changing, I mean, certainly at state government level we've seen action, but
Yep.
The federal government seem to have been dragging its feet on this one. Do you see as though perhaps the problem, there's still going to be a problem going forward of attracting foreign capital into these projects?
Well, we've seen a lot of foreign interest and growing foreign interest, despite maybe this slow movement on the part of federal government. On a project-to-project basis, there has been good cooperation between federal and state level. In our case, the Kidston Pumped Hydro project, which is our flagship, an $800 million investment, was an excellent example of strong federal government support from NAIF and ARENA and other federal agencies, and the state government, which contributed significant funding. So we can get it right with cooperation across private sector and federal and state governments, and we see that can only increase now that we have this impetus.
Yeah, do you think that's going to encourage M&A in the sector?
Yeah, look, I mean, we've seen that already over the last 18 months. A number of companies have been taken over by foreign groups. We find ourselves as GenX as sort of the last man standing as a sole renewable energy and storage play. So yes, we think there's only going to be increasing interest in the sector.
Okay, you can't give too much away, obviously, but you feel as though perhaps you're a target.
Well, look, I think we'd be sensible to be taking steps to ensure that we understand what's out there, the level of that interest in the market, and to position ourselves in a way that we are ready to talk to parties that talk to us. We're already engaging with other major corporates. We have a big shareholder now, J-Power, in GenX that we're working with and cooperating with on strategic projects. So we're preparing ourselves, we're getting our story straight, and we're ready to talk to anyone. Anything
exciting in the pipeline when it comes to innovation?
Look, so we feel we're quite innovative. So we've set up the first pumped hydro project in 40 years in the country. It's not new technology as such, but it's a brand new application, turning an old gold mine into a pumped hydro project and getting an offtake arrangement in place. We're rolling out a new battery project in the next couple of months. We hope to start construction early in the new year. That again will be an innovative offtake structure, which we look to announce very soon. And we're always looking at new technologies that are available in the storage space, different types of technology for battery, compressed air storage, solar thermal storage. We're always looking at what the new opportunities will be.
Yeah, so you're essentially diversifying your development of energy storage. Then you talk about that battery project. It's Bouldercom.
Bouldercom, that's right.
Well, what's that going to actually consist of?
So that's a Tesla battery. We announced that a couple of weeks ago. We signed a supply agreement with Tesla. It's a 50 megawatt for 2-hour storage battery. So it's a different scale from our Kidston project, which is much bigger and for much longer storage. As I say, the portfolio approach needed in the market is lots of different types, sizes of capacity and depth of storage. So the beauty of batteries is they can be rolled out much more quickly. In 12 months it should be in operation, so it's exciting.
How would you describe that technology, that large-scale battery technology at the moment, just as far as efficiencies are concerned? Because, you know, I guess at the beginning when they first came about, they were largely seen as perhaps being inefficient, very costly, of course. Those costs coming down.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do see the costs coming down quite dramatically. We saw it with solar panels very dramatically. With batteries, we're seeing a similar trajectory. We're also seeing longer lifetimes. So we now have a 20-year warranty offered to us by Tesla, which is far in excess of what we've seen previously. So the technology is evolving. The ability to provide services that are needed by the market is continuing to evolve every day. And one of the nice things about the battery is once you install the battery, you can continue to update by doing firmware updates. You can update the technology to meet the market demands as they evolve.
Just in a couple of words, do you think that Australia is well placed enough to become a leader in this area?
Absolutely. I think in terms of personal skills, you know, with the universities, the CSIRO, in terms of the market, the pool market for electricity is, is second to none. The market operator is well respected worldwide. Renewable resources are enormous, wind, solar, a lot of wide open space, and yes, and lots of capital, as we can see, both foreign and domestic, that's looking to be deployed. So I think Australia has a very exciting future.
James, thanks so much for joining us from GenX.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, James.